and I guess it's spawned a whole tour that probably is building up as a result of it.
Let me see. From here, we go. Well, after we leave Toronto, we go for one night in Ottawa with Engelbert Humperdinck, and then the whole show, the Humperdinck show, goes to Chicago, and then after that we go home. Oh boy,
Where do you make home?
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
For 4 days, and we do another Johnny Carson show on the 13th of November in L.A., and then we go to Japan, and then to Hawaii, and then
Alabama,
and
San Francisco,
and let me see, Frisco with the Fifth Dimension, and then we're gonna go home for Christmas because I want to be home for Christmas.
There's no place like home for the holidays.
Oh, gee, that's gotta be a tune.
You gonna write some Christmas songs, Richard?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, we've got one.
Why don't you? Nobody writes
them. We got
I've written
one. We're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're seriously.
In fact, the guy who wrote the words is a choir director
at the school. Yeah.
Well, he was in. I don't know. You ever heard of the Honey Dreamers?
Yeah.
He was in the Honey.
Yeah,
they were back in 49, 50 or something. He was a big vocal group. He was in them. You know.
He's really far out. You know, he's just a character. You know, because he's completely in the music department. He's like a thorn because he's the only one that. He's different, you know. He's not one that is to be stepped on. He doesn't care what other people think, and he does what he feels like.
Like jazz masses and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, he's far out. He does all this stuff from Holland, and he takes his choir to all the festivals, and they're all up there doing all this straight-laced stuff. He comes in with tape recorders playing backwards while you set him on fire, and, you know, he's really far out. You know, we did one thing in a choir festival called Thema, which means theme, and it was a vocal depiction of a
mass execution
in a concentration camp during in the war. You know, it's all charted.
A lot of it's improvisation. You know, if you saw 2001: Space Odyssey, the voices when the monolith was on the moon, all the eyeing and he introduced all that. To you
he found it all first. You know,
Danish.
This thing was so wild. We did it at a festival, and we were the first choir on. But nobody. When we got done, we had the choir director of the next choir in tears. She wouldn't go on. She says, "I'm not going on after that," because it's is it wild? It's all controlled and written out.
No notes.
Whispering.
There's all new notation now for this new choir music.
Yeah, it's all whispering and yelling. Well, not yelling. It's all controlled, but it's and. Like when we were doing it one time, we were going, oh, and one girl goes, oh God, save me, and he goes, yeah, groovy man, you know, and it was so wild. And then at the end, it's got tom-toms, and at the end, I do a great big snare drum roll to sound like machine guns. And is it wild? We're going to see if we can do it on one of our albums. It's going to take about a year and a half. But
that'll really be commercial.
Oh, yeah, that'll just really wrap it up. But it's sensational. It really is. It's harder than you know what, but it's really different. And all the choir directors, they go, wow, because they're too stupid to think it up. The whole Pooler comes through every time,
We're going to Australia, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that should be quite a trip. Everybody I've talked to
who
has been there lately has got this Australia thing.
Oh, yeah, they say that they're really freaky over there, that they love, everything. We were talking to,
Herb.
Yeah, we were talking to Herb the other day, and he said that when he was in Australia, he said that they're so far out. He said that when you modulate, they go nuts.
Yeah.
He really did. He said, you change key and they just lose their minds. He did. It's really funny.
Well, what would you do? Just go on a fun trip, or would you go?
No, it's a tour.
To both, eh?
8 days, I think. 6 concerts in 8 days. No, 8 concerts in 6 days.
I was saying, I hope he didn't turn that around, but he did.
Of course, though, you two are so much different than the the kind of success that you're going through now is not that unusual in that people make it with a record and they go on the tour and they do it and it's a job, but you two seem so hooked
Oh, it's a gas.
On what you're doing, on the ideas, on the fact that you've got this freedom to explore, and that I guess it's not that much work.
Oh, it's not work at all.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's
The only work's lifting the amplifiers.
Yeah, it gets a little tricky sometimes, trying to get 9-foot amps into a 3-foot space. But,
How does this problem work out of the fact that, obviously, you're excellent studio people and you use the devices where they're needed and sparingly.
Mm-hmm.
How do you bridge the gap from the studio to the stage? In terms of, some special effects that you would do on the record, how would you duplicate them on stage, if at all?
Well, we really don't use that. I mean, we use...
Oh, you want to...
No, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I know what it is. Well, stuff like, we use just the harmonies and strings and brass, stuff like that. To take care of the overdubbing problem, we use 4 other people in person. And it gets 5-part harmony. And when you double the bottom part,
makes it sound...
It almost makes the whole thing sound overdubbed in person.
Makes it sound like 5 with the bottom double.
To get the vocal sound right, we rehearse for months and months to get a studio sound in person, getting in certain sections where one part, the guy will have a better voice in a certain range, it'll come out louder, you tell him to get back, you have to rehearse every measure of every tune.
Plus all the guys that are vocally in the group are from the choir.
And they all
sang under
spent
Pooler.
years finding to match up the voices to all sound the same.
We've all
stuff
at
like,
once sung under Pooler.
So you do that, you get that done, and we play the instruments on the track, so that sounds the same. You use an orchestra in person.
We try to use almost everything without
use the orchestra. And then for stuff like, on another song, the wah-wah pedal, you take that right on stage with you. Use the same electric piano you used. The electric clarinet that sounds like an oboe, and it's also the same guy playing on We've Only Just Begun. Mm-hmm. We use him right there. He's got the maestro unit right on stage that makes it sound the same.
On the record we use, there's these concert toms that, like in Close to You, and it goes doo doo doo. They're all certain pitch.
High-pitched tom-toms.
I carry them on the road, so it sounds just like when we do it in the
studio. It's hard to see, Karen, but it
sounds exactly the same.
To me, I think that really a group should strive to sound as much like the record as possible, bar nothing.
Sometimes it's impossible with the sound systems, because it's hard. But in certain places, it's really come awful
close. You can
get
pretty close.
It's funny, like from this side of the fence, playing records, wondering what's like. We don't have all that much control as to what's happening. When you play records, you tend to want to look for certain things, and they don't come. And you two seem to be the what we've been looking for quite a while in terms of bringing it all together, and yet having some kind of order to it. The fact that you're so disciplined and so free at the same time, it comes out in your music. Like hearing words to a song for a change.
I think you should be able to. I mean, what's the use?
Words have a lot to do with soul on the record, I think. A lot of people don't. I mean, you can sell a lot of records. Louie Louie is one of my favorite records of all times, even though, critics say Louie Louie. But sold a lot of records.
That's right.
You couldn't understand one.
Sandpiper.
Well, that was the second one. The first one's by the Kingsmen.
Oh.
And I heard the words to that were a little risque, and that's why they, all you heard was, as a matter of fact, was Louie Louie, hey, we gotta go, and that was it. And yet that thing sold millions and millions of records. So some people say words aren't that important, but that was before.
Well, I think in certain types of music,
that
words
was before
are
the poets came in, like Paul Simon and even Paul McCartney and. The writers like that, and that started a whole thing with the lyrics, And I think lyrics, like with We've Only Just Begun and Close to You.
Things like that. If you couldn't hear the words, what would be the use? You know what I mean? But in certain things, you really don't need to hear them.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm getting the high sign from the other room. There was one very pleasing thing: the fact that you're so young, and obviously. You're going to get what you want in the music field, and we're all looking for it and waiting for it. So good luck if you do. You will. You're not going to get that successful that you're not going to come back here.
Oh no. No.
No, please do if you can.
Thank you very much
for your records.
Thank you.
You're at the O'Keefe tomorrow night.
Yes, till 31st, which is Saturday.